Let's talk about the 4 steps to don't get your tinsel in a tangle to supersize and grow your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. This is actually a mug I got from when I was in the Italian food business. One of my long-term employees gave me this because I used to get a little stressed out and frustrated at work sometimes. I'm not going to read it because it's got a couple of swear words in it, although it's so true. Unfortunately, with Android phones, you can't flip it around so you can see it the right way. But if anybody's curious, just ask me in the comments below and I will actually type out what it says, but I'm not going to say it. I probably shouldn't type it. I should probably say it instead of type it because of the algorithms, but I'm not going to. So don't get your tinsel in a tangle. This idiom, this expression, actually was used in the movie Steel Magnolias. Truvy said it, and as part of getting ready for the holidays. Getting ready for the holidays for us personally, as well as our businesses, tends to be a high stress activity. Usually there's sales and there's a lot more volume. The vast majority of business volume, at least in the retail industry, is transacted in the month of December. It's crazy, but some people will actually double and quadruple. And I can't even imagine what's going on at Amazon right now with COVID-19. They had already before December doubled their business, which is mind-blowing when a lot of small businesses are literally shut down and out of business, which breaks my heart because usually I like to shop at small businesses and local businesses for Christmas and the holidays, and that's really been curtailed. Thank you, COVID. Thank you, politicians. Not meaning that in a positive way. So how do you not get your tinsel in a tangle? What does it mean? To get your tinsel in a tangle means, of course, to get upset or angry or worried or doubtful or fearful or annoyed or just kind of off about an activity. This one's specific to Christmas and the holidays, but there's other idioms that I'm actually more familiar with. Don't get your knickers in a knot. Don't get your panties in a wad. Don't get your undies in a bundy was the one my sisters and was used in my family. I don't know why growing up, but that was one. Don't get your undies in a bundy. I'm just borrowing your sweater or whatever. That's, sisters. Can you tell I grew up with a bunch of sisters? So how do you deal with this? Because guess what? The holidays is a high stressful time. It's a highly charged, highly emotional, super busy time for many of us. Well, Carl Rogers and some other psychologists came up with 4 steps, 4 things that you can do to make sure that you don't get your tinsel in a tangle. Now, number 1, you want to ID and identify in advance the people and the places and the what and the who are going to trip your trigger, who are going to upset you, who are going to push your buttons. I don't know about you, but when my family gets together, we have a couple members of my family that are what I call instigators. Really, they're pains in the you-know-what, but I call them instigators because they like to go around and nudge at everybody and push their buttons and ask questions that are embarrassing or try to make fun of you in some way because, they're kind of bullies, right? Makes them feel better. Most of our families have at least one of them in it. So when we get together, it might not be getting together like we normally do this Christmas, depending on where you are in the world and where you are even in America. Some of our holidays will be curtailed like Thanksgiving was. Well, but make sure that when you are and if you are, number 1, you plan in advance. If we plan for the holiday season, if we plan in our businesses for the increased volume, the increased workload, the increased effort, the change things that we need to do because of COVID. I mean, curbside delivery is a lot different game than, 100 people coming into your business and just going around picking up their stuff and checking out. There's different ways and different resource levels required to manage each of those processes. Guess what? They're all manageable. The key is to have a system, have a process, and continually improve that process along the way. So number 1, prepare in advance. Plan. It's called planning. Number 2, establish your sane connection. Have like a buddy system or a person or a strategy or something that you can do to decompress, to handle the stress, to relax. I go for walks. I phone a friend. I still do the old take a deep breath and count to 10 thing. My dad taught me when I was a little girl. Then remember 3, less is more. Less alcohol, less gift giving, less unnecessary stress on ourselves, less length of time or visits or whatever. If you have house guests, I don't know about you, but there's a length of time for certain activities that I know once I go over that, once I cross that line, I'm in big trouble. If I go to a store, especially with the masks and everything now, I can only last, I used to be able to last, 45 minutes, an hour or so, but now I go into the same store and it's 10 minutes and I'm out. I need to take my mask off and get fresh air. I can't wait to step out of the store. So know what your own personal limits are, and remember, less is more. Get creative on what you do and how you do it throughout, especially this year and this crazy season. And number 4, Carl Rogers says, practice something that he coined unconditional positive regard. Practice non-judgment. Practice just being in the present moment, I guess, and being non-judgmental, and just letting other people be who they are, and then you be who you are, and don't feel the need to criticize or judge or expect people to be or situations to be any different than they are. To me, the definition of frustration is expecting what is to be different than it is right now. Same is true with other people. If we judge and expect them and we put our expectations on them, we're sure to be disappointed. So practice unconditional positive regard. So if your nephew starts talking to you about his view of politics, practice unconditional positive regard. Let him have his opinion, and maybe you don't have to argue back. You don't have to think he's stupid. You don't have to judge at all. You just say, oh, that's an interesting perspective. See you later. I'm going to get some punch or some eggnog. So what do you do? What do you do during this season or during any other stressful time besides knock ducks on the floor? What do you do to enjoy the season, to love the season, to really embrace, to increase your business, to appreciate and acknowledge your customers and yourself for all of the things that you've done this year? Love to know that. Share in the comments below. That's it for our idiom today. I'll be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom, probably holiday related. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how can you use it in your business right now? Take care.